Hello, this is Adam with OurGodIsHoly.com, and for my first video, seeing as befitting the site name, is going to be about the holiness of God. Now, for a long time, I've wondered where the subject has gone. I honestly cannot tell you the last time I've heard a sermon on it from the pulpit. The sheer reverence of His name and who He is. His perfection, His righteousness, His justice. God is holy. He is high and we are low. We are beggarly, miserly. We are low. We are but bones. And this is all in comparison to who God is. Now, as the gospel, or what would appear to be the gospel today, is preached, it's not given in a reverence to God and an understanding of His character. People are not able to understand why the offense is so great because we don't understand who God is. People are taught to preach in a way that lowers God because they feel that it makes God relevant or not so distant from us. But in fact, that's borderline blasphemy. To say that you've brought Him more relevant or down to us. If anything, as far as standards go, we can never move God higher above us. We need to start teaching that God is holy and perfect, and not just teach it. People should tremble with fear that if they used His name in a sentence, that they might lower Him or say something to offend His name. We've lost that today. We have on t-shirts and we walk around with, we buy things with it. We do things with His name that we wouldn't do with our own or someone in our family. Where has the reverence gone? There is none anymore. And it shows inside the church when you start getting questions about God's character so heavily that you would think would be basic understanding for someone who worships God but doesn't seem to understand who He is at all. Why would God send someone to hell? Why do bad things happen? These should not be questions that should be being asked in mainstream Christianity, especially. These should be questions that should be answerable by even a young Christian because they revolve around His character. I'm not saying that there's people out there who are not going to understand it, but it should be being taught way more fervently than it is now, especially in the gospel, like I said. If you do not explain to someone the character of God, the offense has no meaning. If I steal, commit adultery, or lie, there is no power in that looking from a human standard. At that measure, what I've done is very minor. But it's because it was done against another imperfect person. We must learn to look at things, and people need to be taught that it is not the law breaking itself, it's who you've done it against. His law is perfect. He is perfect. We have committed a wrong against a God who cannot stand anything less than perfection, and we must be punished. He is perfect. We are not. We really need to get back to this, and you couldn't hear it enough. Someone should be talking about this all the time. There should be a sermon on this somewhere every day. We've lost it though, and it really starts showing now. So everybody who's standing in that pulpit, make sure everyone understands how high God is and how low we are. Do not bring Him down to our level, because He is not. He is way, way higher than us. And when you teach it, remember that His name is holy, and everything He does is for His own glory, His own name's sake, His own purpose, and not for anything else. The chief point of God is to glorify God, and the chief point of man is to glorify God, because He is holy, He is set apart, He is higher than us. And we must remember that in everyday life, when we pray, when we worship, and when we read our Bible. We must remember to come to that understanding that God is higher than us, we are low, and He is holy.